Coming up next, an amazing conversation with a truly majestic rock frontman of the 70s and 80s about his band's signature song. This band was always the bridesmaid, always opening for other bands in the early 70s, but this 70s rock anthem, it made them kings of the arena, and they sold out their share because of it. He wrote this song for the Underdog, but its tempo changed and confused listeners as it went from a deceptively slow ballad to a complete rocker. Now, is this song about an alien abduction? Some say so. Well, this song may seem like a fantasy, but it's 100% true according to the rock frontman. Coming up next, we find out what the band's promo man and guitarist did to get ready to play this song, has to do with payola, and how it's haunted geeks across the world from a band that deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right now. I'm Professor of Rock. Hey, music junkies, Professor of Rock, always here to celebrate the greatest artists and the greatest songs of all time. You know, if you remember reading the comics on your Bazooka Joe bubblegum wrappers, you're going to dig this channel of deep musical nostalgia. Make sure to subscribe below by clicking on the big red button. Click the bell so you always know when our latest and greatest come out. Check us out on Patreon as well. It helps us keep it a daily channel. Today, we're going to induct another song into our program, The New Standards. This, of course, is the show that honors songs that transcend genre, decade, and fads. These are songs that are truly landmarks in our culture and within our society. Songs that continue to show up in pop culture because they are part of the soundtrack of our very lives. Today, we're celebrating a song that took a band from being the bridesmaids to the kings of the world. Before this song, Styx was always the opening band on tour. They opened for everybody from Bob Seger to Rush, to Kiss, to Aerosmith, you name it. But today's classic song made them the headliner, and they sold out arenas for years after. This song has also ruled pop culture for decades. It's one of the most played classic rock songs of all time. I'm talking about Come Sail Away by Styx.
I'm sailing away.
Released in 1977 is the lead single from the band's multi-platinum 7th album, The Grand Illusion. Of course, written and sung by Dennis DeYoung, who always brought a little bit of Broadway into the songs that he wrote for the band. And I tell you, this one is a true showstopper.
To carry on.
For the first 2.5 minutes, the song, it kind of fakes you out as a beautiful ballad. But then it transforms into a raging rock anthem with big chords and a sing-along chorus that every 70s and 80s kid knows by heart.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
Song peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 in early 1978, and it lifted The Grand Illusion to multi-platinum status due to its amazing success. Truly one of the great classic rock songs of all time. According to Tommy Shaw, they got radio to play it through a little payola. Now, everyone knows what payola is. It's illegal, but apparently that didn't stop Styx guitarist Tommy Shaw and the band's promotion man Jim Cahill from traveling to quite a few big stations with bags of coke in an effort to get more airplay for Come Sail Away.
So climb aboard.
It worked like a charm, in fact. Cahill explained on the Styx Behind the Music VH1 series, program directors were like penguins, since they'd follow you around if you had snow. Honestly, though, this song, it should have been a #1 hit. What was wrong with them? This song sailed up the charts, like I said. Since its peak, it's had impact on every single generation since. It's a mainstay in pop culture. We'll talk about that, like I said, radio play. I would argue it's Styx's signature song. Today, Dennis is going to go behind the story of composing the song, its impact since. Was the band abducted by aliens? What does the band mean? You're going to find out next. Now, as we go into this interview, I do want to thank our sponsor, Zenni Eyewear, the glasses I will wear forever. I love Zenni because every pair I own, I have blue light protection in the lenses. No matter if you wear prescription glasses or protecting your eyesight from the damaging digital blue light is vital, and Zenni blocks lenses do that at a fraction of the cost of the competition. Click on the link right here or below to get these glasses. Here's Dennis on Come Sail Away. Let's talk about Come Sail Away. Speaking of another one that's used in Freaks and Geeks. I mean, this song just grips your soul and it doesn't let go. It's one of your rock musicals. That's what I always loved about you as an artist. It's something I loved about you and Billy Joel. You guys brought a little Broadway into the rock and roll.
This is my life.
And I always thought that was great how you did that. I don't think it was intentional. It's just you guys are showmen and you're able to do that. But your arrangement combines classical and rock music elements, and somehow you skillfully blend like lyrical introspection really with futurity. Tell me about that. What do you remember about coming up with that song?
I grew up in the south side of Chicago. You've heard of the Pullman cars and the Pullman Works, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the area where I grew up, that was like a mile and a half from my house. That's where the Pullman district, very, very blue collar. We got to go to Hawaii to play the Crater Festival. When you go to Hawaii the first time, from a guy like from Chicago, south side, you just look and you go, this is a place? We came home, and it was the year of one of the very worst winters in Chicago, and the snow was piled up. And my house was piled up to the window. You couldn't even see out of the window. I wrote this song because I was putting together the idea of sailing in the beauty of Hawaii. The success of the song lyrically is essentially, it's a song about yearning to be in a better place. And whether it's a boat that takes you,
I'm sailing away.
Or angels coming down from heaven,
I've got to be free.
or people on a starship taking you away,
To carry on.
that's just what the song is about. And there's reflections in the waves spark my memory, some happy, some sad.
Happy, some sad.
I think of childhood friends and the dreams we had.
Think of childhood friends and the dreams we had.
It's all about John and I, Panazzo, who were really, we were the core of the band in the early days. We loved the Beatles. We sang the harmonies.
Isn't he a bit like you and me?
We would stand behind Kiss because our trajectory towards success was so slow and painful. We'd be back at Aerosmith, Kiss, Queen, ZZ, name them. We're the opener, they're the stars.
We lived happily forever.
That went on for almost ever. We used to sit behind the stage, we'd talk. He says, John would say, Den, do you ever think we're going to be the brides? Or were we always the bridesmaids? And that line, which was written before we did become the brides, was about John and I. And, we lived happily forever, so the story goes, but somehow we missed out.
But somehow we missed out.
On the pot of gold, but we'll try the best we can to carry on.
To carry on.
And it's all about what life is handing you. It's up to you. It's incumbent upon you, because to do something about it, if you want to change, you want to be someplace, be somebody better, you got to do it. And that's really what the song "Come Sail Away" is about. And people, the cool thing is, it has transcended generations in its meaning to young people. Now, I know young people today are not as interested in rock music as they are in pop and rap and whatever else.
Hip hop, yeah.
But for 40 some odd years, Come Sail Away has found a really nice place in people's hearts.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away.
Well, the song for me was always a pick-me-up. It was kind of like that and Don't Stop Believing. It's like chasing your dreams, embracing the unknown, enjoying the journey of life. And I remember when they use it in Freaks and Geeks, I love that because that's how I felt. I remember that at a dance, I used to go request that song. So when I saw that, because even though it's awkward to dance to, because it starts out slow and he's dancing slow, and then just kind of gives you a motivation, though, to go talk to that girl. And I always read that that's why Judd Apatow wanted to use it, because he wanted that to be that motivation of the kid asking the girl to dance. And he just he remembered what it was like to be a kid. Because it was so weird when I saw that, because I was like, oh my gosh, I used to go request this song. Not for that reason. It was more for motivation, or I love the song, but then I realized that maybe I was doing that to kind of give me a push.
You know, I've oftentimes said, guys, if you're going to ask a girl to slow dance, don't pick a Styx song, because it's going to trick you at some point.
Yeah.
You know, you're just about ready to, get a little closeness, and boom, you got to do the frug and the boogaloo. I think Judd may have experienced something similar to that in his own life. I never asked him that question. Nonetheless, he's been very kind to me. And
Paul Feig, too, who helped write it, I think he felt that, too, for sure.
They did a documentary, did you know, on Freaks and Geeks? You ever see it? I'm in it. They asked me to talk.
Well, see, the thing is, they nailed that, though, using Styx and Billy Joel and Kenny Loggins, because all the Hollywood movies were always using what they deemed the cool music. I'm not saying that Styx isn't cool, but I'm saying that for us, for my generation, kind of the freaks and the geeks part, this was our music. We love Billy Joel and Styx and Journey and Foreigner and all these bands. And because they were considered corporate by the big magazines, they didn't understand the treasure that they were to us.
Well, look, the rock critics that classified those bands as corporate, they were just trying to think of something to hang on music that didn't support. That's all it was.
I just never understood as a kid why I couldn't like The Clash and like Toto.
You can. They said they don't go together. I want to tell you how many Bruce Springsteen and Styx fans cross over.
I know.
Millions.
I know. Music is music. And that's what I love about today's generation is they don't care. They don't really genreify things. These young people, they just like it. They know what they like. They hear a song and they're like, I like it.
The way something sounds, it's a physical thing. It's a sound wave. Hits your tympanic membrane, goes to your brain and your soul. That's why when certain people sing a certain note, you get the goosebumps, right? That's not intellectual. That's beyond. It's organic. It's something that connects the universe to the human condition somehow through chords and notes and melody. So
that's why I've always said that music is subjective. When somebody says, well, this band's better than this band, if that sounds good to you and feels good to you, I can't argue with that. I'm not going to try to.
Who are we to tell other people what they like?
Right.
How arrogant can you get? People like what they like for lots of reasons.
If you write a song like Come Sail Away, for example, getting back to that, and 40 years later, it still touches people's lives, and it is a checkpoint in the chapter of their history, their personal history, that's the meaning of a great song. If millions of people in every generation it means something, that can't be argued with. That is where the rubber hits the road.
You know how I define what you just said?
How's that?
That was good. That's it.
Yeah.
It has to be defined in highfalutin terms, right? We don't have to write about boom, 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 boom. Save it. Do you like it? Does it make you feel good? Plenty for me.
One of the lyrics I wanted to ask you about is a gathering of angels appeared above my head.
Gathering of angels appeared above my head.
Were you inspired by the verses of Ezekiel chapter 1 from the Bible there? Because I always wondered that.
If Ezekiel came to my front door at this moment, right? He said, he could tell me he was from Domino's delivering a pizza. I was raised a Catholic. The only one ever talked about the Bible were the priests. That was in Latin. Does that answer your question? I don't quote scripture. And I got to tell you, the idea of a gathering of angels is just like Lady. I got no clue how I thought that up. I'm telling you, because I look at that and I think, well, that's smarter than I am. I couldn't have come up with that. When I tell you, I don't know how that happened or where I got that idea. And I think, man, Dennis, that was good. How did you think that up? And so I talked to Dennis, and he tells me he doesn't know. It worked.
Well, number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 9 in Canada. It's still one of the most played tracks, classic rock radio, heavily used in pop culture. Atlantis, Lost Empire, Treasure Planet, The Wild, Moana, Big Daddy.
It was not, like 30 times. It's a lot. Here's how it all started. South Park. 1995. I get a request to use Come Sail Away in a TV show, a cartoon called South Park. I don't know the show. But between 1984 and 1995, nobody, not you, none of your friends, called me up and said, we'd like to use one of your songs in a TV show, movie, commercial. Nobody called. I went, hello? Yeah, Dennis, there's these people, they want to use your Come Sail Away and blah, blah, blah. I said, who? South Park. Okay.
Yeah.
So I watch it, right? I think, wow. I said, these guys they're funny.
But Adam Sandler's a huge fan.
Yeah. I'll tell you that story in a second. So they want to use it, and then I seen the Barbara Streisand one, the South Park guys. So I said, how do they want to use it? They said, we'll have them call you. So Matt Stone calls me, and I said, are you going to do a Streisand on Styx? Is that what you're doing? He said, no. He said, when I was in 8th grade, I had a little radio show called the Paradise Theater. And he was a Styx fan. And it was Cartman heard the thing, and he could not, obviously. He had to sing it to the end because it was so catchy to him.
Come Sail Away by Styx. If I hear the first part of that song, I have to finish it. Really?
Now, some people took it as it was a shot, but it wasn't a shot. So I said, okay, go. Have fun, you boys. That was the smartest decision I ever made in the music business in my life. At that moment in time, the hippest of the hip, Trey Parker, Matt Stone said, this is okay with us. After that, the floodgates opened. My phone has not stopped ringing since 1995 with people wanting to use my music in movies, commercials, TV. And South Park really opened that door. It was closely followed by Adam Sandler.
Well, Community, Amy Mann doing it on Community.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me.
And the Goldbergs. I mean, you knew the Goldbergs were going to use it. Glee.
To carry on.
I communicated with Mr. Goldberg by email when he asked me about told me this story. In junior high school, him and his buddies got all dressed up, made their own Roboto costumes.
You're wondering who I am. Secret, secret, I've got a secret.
And got into a talent show. I think to myself, well, I don't think I'd counted on that.
Well, what's the legacy for you on Come Sail Away all these years later? Because you wrote it when you were down in the dumps, and you just wrote this incredible song.
Well, wish I had 10 more. That's how I look at it. I did it. And when you do something that consequential to your life, like Lady, I worked really hard not to repeat it, and Come Sail Away to try. Okay, I got to force myself not to be playing the same song over and over again.
Well, when you said I'd do 10 more, you kind of did do 10 more. I mean, you've had so many hits. Like, you probably knew this, but you are You and Steven Tyler are the only rock musicians or writers that had a top 10 hit in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Fronting a band, you're the only two that did that. That's pretty incredible. Because there are a lot of huge bands that came out in the 70s and 80s.
Do you think Steven Tyler has some room in one of his houses has a shrine to Run DMC? I'm just curious. I know if they'd have done that with one of my songs, I'd have them over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, no kidding.
For me, its legacy is yours. And everybody that listens to this podcast or has heard the song, it's whatever you make of it at this point. I told you the story of what it meant to me, and now you embrace it for what it means to you.
You know, it truly is a travesty that these guys are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, Boston's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Foreigner's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. REO Speedwagon and Styx. Those were the big four the big five with Journey. And they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do these guys have against rock and roll? You've heard me say it a million times, but it still ticks me off. Anyway, leave us a comment about Come Sail Away, one of the perfect classic rock songs of all time. What are your memories of it? What do you think about Dennis? What do you think about Styx? What other songs should we cover on here? I'm trying to get an interview with Tommy as well. We'll see how that goes. If you like our content, we invite you to subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, 3 chords, my friends. 3 chords and the truth. Talk to you soon.